Welcome to the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 28. I'm here with my three co-hosts. We have King Earl, Nash Cowboy, and Blaze. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing
Good. How
fantastic.
about yourself, brother?
Doing well, doing well.
Doing great, man. Can't complain. Good to have all you guys on the show with me today. We got 3 Americans. We got 1 Canadian here today. And the first question, the first topic is Bitcoin is hot. And Swan Bitcoin CEO says BTC is headed for a big bull rally ahead of ETF approval. Real signal in this space. So this is huge. And I'm going to show you what's happening with Bitcoin. As they say that, Bitcoin is now at a 52-week high. We're at $39,508 for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is ripping. 40,000 is the next target. King Earl, what do you think about this?
All right. First of all, it's not going to be financial advice, so please do your own due diligence and research. But I definitely believe that Bitcoin is definitely going to have a rally before the halving and the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Because, I mean, we're potentially looking at, on these spot ETFs, shooting Bitcoin up to $57,000, right? So that was before we just hit 40, so now we're potentially looking at 60,000. So, you know, it all comes down to, you know, and that's, you know, not financial advice, so do your own diligence. But, you know, the thing is, we're at 165% on the year. We already knew it was going to be a hot year. Next year is going to be even hotter, you know. But at this point, it doesn't even take much percentages up to actually generate wealth, you know, at this point on Bitcoin. So, you know, it's great opportunity and great time to get in because hundreds of dollars, you know. So that's what's great about Bitcoin, and I use higher caps. But, you know, I feel it's a good time. And then I also saw, you know, that Gary Gensler was hinting at the fact that the spot approvals for the spot ETF. So, you know, a little bit ahead of time. Maybe he's trying to give us a little Santa nuggets, you know, and might give us that on Christmas Eve. Who knows? But no, I feel like we'll be waiting until January 10th. But, you know, it's in the works, and I feel great about it. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great rally.
I agree. I can't wait. The funny part is they already have Bitcoin ETFs in Canada. So we already know that this is going to get approved. Like, this is not like a surprise. I don't know why he's trying to be all like secretive about it, pretending like he's not going to approve it. He's going to approve it. They're going to be approved. So, I mean, that's my opinion. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
I think it's definitely going in the right direction. I think his statement there is great. I don't know if we're gonna hit 60,000 very soon, but I could see a possible 50. I think we're a little bit oversold right now, and possible pullback coming. I said that last week as well. But it's definitely going to go up there. I mean, it's going to hit 60. Just like Earl said, you know, we knew it was going to be a good year. Next year is going to be great. And there's a lot of opportunity to make a lot of flipping money. It's just a matter of investing and selling at the right times, you know.
100% agree with you, man.
Yeah, I just want to add in the fact that the 57,000 was once the ETFs are approved with their investment money.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
And I think that that's very reasonable. Like, I've been sitting here looking at the chart saying 50, 60,000 looks very reasonable. We were there before. We're almost back to 40. I think we go there again. And what do you think about this, Blaze? About these predictions that Bitcoin is going to go much higher? And obviously, Bitcoin's going higher.
I 100% believe it's going to go up more, obviously, because we were talking about it a couple months ago. It's already doing what we were saying. So we did our studying. But I think the potential for 60K all day, and I am not telling you to guys buy anything. I want you guys to do your own studying and whatnot. But at the end of the day, between January and April, keep your eye on Bitcoin. Because I feel it's going to, you know, by tax season and all that good stuff that goes on, people are going to start wanting to get in because they want to get in now, but they can't because they can't afford it. But I think people are going to dump their taxes into it.
Hey, well, you know what? I got a lot of people I know that are in Bitcoin, man, and the number just keeps growing. And even
Mhm.
like 50, 60-year-old dads that have kids own Bitcoin. So people are stacking. So there's going to be a huge amount of money that's going to be made over this
Yeah.
next bull market. There will be new millionaires made. There will be new billionaires made. There will probably
All-time
be
high,
some new
all-time high.
trillionaires made. Like that's how crazy this is going to get. And we are just in the first year of a 3-year bull market. This is the first year of a 3-year bull market. We're literally just at the start of all the action. So it's pretty damn exciting if you ask me. All right, let's get into the next topic here. And the next topic is this right here. 14 best cryptocurrency stocks for 2023. So there are crypto stocks that are killing it right now. And here's the list. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So here's a list of what they are saying are the best crypto stocks right now. And I'm just going to announce them to you. So number one, which is actually my number one pick for December, is GBTC. They hold 660,000 Bitcoin. MicroStrategies is number two, MSTR. They hold they just bought more. So like 170,000 Bitcoin. Block is symbol SQ, their number three pick. Marathon Digital, a miner, MARA is the number four pick. Riot, another miner. Riot, RIOT, is the number fifth pick. Coinbase, which has been on fire all year. Coin, COIN, the number six pick. Bitcoin Depot, GSRM, number seven pick. Robinhood, Hood, number eight. CleanSpark number 9. Hut is number 10. And Bitfarms, number 11, listed on this list of the 14. Earl, will you be buying Bitcoin stocks?
Well, I'm going to say no, primarily due to the fact that ARK already pulled out of the GBTC. MicroStrategy just got an unprecedented and unpredicted $1.6 billion in unforeseen profits, right, on their investments on Bitcoin alone. I feel more safe, actually, other than a stock that I cannot day trade myself. Trust boys rich. I just want to take their freaking money, right? So,
All right.
How to do.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, I will be buying them. I will be a buyer all day long. I'll be talking about them. I'll be a buyer because I can move the money around quickly without having to worry about putting it on my ledger, worrying about losing my password, about, getting my account hacked, watching my crypto exchange go bankrupt, watching the SEC charge the crypto exchange. I like the idea of buying the Bitcoin related stocks. I think it's a great way to gain exposure to Bitcoin and have your money a little bit more secure because it's in the stock market versus in the crypto market. But that's my opinion. Nash Cowboy, what do you think? You're going to be buying some Bitcoin stocks over this bull market?
I might, but not anytime soon.
Let me show you how much some of these are up. I mean, I have them
So,
all charted.
So a couple of them I might be interested in. Definitely not Robinhood, or there's a couple on there that I wouldn't go for nothing.
Well, look at this one. This one right here is GBTC. They own 660,000 Bitcoin. They are up from $7 to $31 this year.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm not a huge stock person.
Bitcoin.
I'm not a huge stock person anyway, but if I were to get into it, there's some of them that I definitely wouldn't. Grayscale is definitely one that I would think about. However, I don't like not being able to trade 24 hours a day. So that's another reason I'm not into many stocks to begin with. Because I like.
But you know what? That's going to change. I'm going to tell you right now, because crypto is getting into the market, I predict, and it's coming, that you will see 24-hour stock markets coming. It's going to come. It's going to happen. It's
That
just
would
a
make
matter
me
of time.
more interested. That would make me
It
more
will. It's just a matter of time because they have to compete with the crypto.
If I
right?
do get into those stocks, though, it will be probably after the bull market, and once the bear market starts, I'll start watching for a low bottom to get in on. I personally don't think now is the time to get in on it, but that's my own personal opinion. I may be completely wrong and losing a lot of money not by doing it.
Well, I mean, you're not losing necessarily if you're not investing. You're just, you could be sitting there watching and learning. You can't
Yeah.
just, necessarily buy something you don't understand, you don't know. I've been watching these stocks for years. And when
Yeah.
Bitcoin goes up, they shoot. GBTC will shoot. But when Bitcoin goes down, GBTC went down. So there is risk associated to everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
Blaze, are you going to be buying Bitcoin stocks? Are there any Bitcoin stocks that get you interested? I know that Mara and Riot are big meme stocks. So people like meme stocks. Will you be getting into those?
GPTC. That's what I got to say. The first one.
GBTC? Yeah,
Because
GBTC.
it's 4.5, it's 4.5 times its original $7, right? Not to mention the fact Bitcoin's not even made it 3x. So if you dump your money into them, your 100 grand into them around that time, rather than Bitcoin, you're going to make more money off that stock. Plus, like Rich said, it's kind of safer and it's easier. So, I mean, I'm convinced that's the one I want to play with. I don't like to play with like 3 or 4. I don't care about 11. You're number one. You're making the money. I'll check it out. No doubt.
Yeah, I think it's done extremely well. And I kicked myself because I wanted to buy it when it was at $10. I made videos on it. I put it in my top 10 and I didn't, and it's at 31. So had I bought it, I would have made 200% on it. And it haunts me that I didn't buy it because I knew it was going to go up with the price of Bitcoin, and it's exactly what it did. And Square and PayPal,
it 3x'd since that day.
Yeah, and Square and PayPal right now are cheap, and they own Bitcoin, and I think that they're great trades for 2024. So those are two of my favorite trades for 2024 because they're cheap, they're down, and with the price of Bitcoin going up, I think that Square and PayPal will go up much higher. All right, let's get into the next thing. And this is pretty crazy because this is about one of the biggest names in the world of sports and business. Cristiano Ronaldo being slammed with a $1 billion lawsuit for promoting Binance NFTs. King Earl, what do you think about this? Do you think that they could get potentially Ronaldo to pay them a $1 billion in lawsuits? For promoting Binance?
No, I think that it's just because of the NFTs themselves, right? So, it has come down to what the lawsuit is, and was he promoting it, or was he just actually obliging to the ends and terms of that contract? Because if you're not telling somebody to buy and sell, you're not promoting. If you're just wearing the apparel according to the contract, you're just advertising for them, or so so it comes down to the laws. I mean, which country is he being sued from? That's the secondary question, and what's their terms and laws? Because, I mean, as far as people being for promoting a company or an incorporation, right? It's why go after the promoters instead of the people themselves? Spend their money on the Binance, suing Binance, and quit trying to sue people who promote it that Binance signed.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I just don't understand where they come up with the $1 billion number. Did they lose $1 billion? Because if you didn't lose $1 billion, how do you just say that this guy owes you $1 billion? And the thing was, he is being sued for promoting Binance NFTs. So he was paid.
Well, it's potentially.
He did commercials. So go ahead.
It might be potentially part of his contract. I mean, they might have pulled that number from his contract as far as how much he was paid if they actually had access to that. Because it has to be disclosed how much he was actually given within the token itself or the exchange as a promoter, especially on whitelisting, as far as tokenomics. So that might be.
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is right that Ronaldo promoted Binance NFTs, and now because Binance is getting sued by the SEC, 3 investors have come out and said that they are suing collectively Ronaldo $1 billion for promoting Binance NFTs. Do you think this is right? Do you think that he's in trouble here? Do you think he's going to have to pay $1 billion? Does he even have $1 billion to pay these people? Like, where did they come up with this number, this $1 billion number?
I don't know his pocketbook. It's bigger than mine, but I don't know how much it got.
I don't know if it's big enough to pay out $1 billion.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if that goes through, then you've also got to look at, okay, if a race car driver with Red Bull on it gets sued because, you know, whatever, somebody drank Red Bull and then it got them too hyped up, they had a heart attack, you know. It's getting ridiculous. Everybody wants to sue over something. He's advertising for a company. If you want to sue somebody, sue the makers, not the advertiser. The whole world's getting crazy with lawsuits. If that goes through, I promise I'm going to find something completely ridiculous to sue, like Red Bull or some race car driver. Or, I don't know. just for the hell of it, to show how ridiculous it is. And when I win, I'll give them the freaking money back.
It is crazy. I mean, because imagine being him and now you got to deal with this headache and you could potentially be out $1 billion. I mean, I don't even know if he's a billionaire yet. Like, he probably is, but I just don't know where they got this number from. Like, where do you get this number from? That's the thing. It's like, that's a lot of money to be
shooting for the stars,
for.
And they're hoping he's going to settle out of court for X amount of dollars is what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, of course. But the thing is, like, you know, to come up with that number, that's such a big number. It's shocking. It's got to be scary for him that being in the public eye, anyone at any point in time feels like they can take a shot at you, you know? And even though it's not like, you know, something that would maybe stress him out, if you're a millionaire and someone comes after you for $1 billion, that's got to stress you out. I don't care who you are. That, like, if you're human, that would stress you out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Blaze, what do you think about this?
Probably Jim Cramer.
Well, this is a simple fact. He obviously got paid big for this. He obviously has a contract with Binance that if he is to be sued, because Ronaldo is not stupid and his agent, then they're going to have to cover the bill. So he has no worries. Binance will foot the bill if they win the lawsuit. 100% dead set on it, because Crypto.com actually has a bunch of stars under them, and if they get sued for making a mistake, that's why it's Crypto.com's job to make sure that they are paying attention to how they advertise. You know what I mean? Like we have to when we talk about stuff. So I know for a fact they do it. Binance definitely does it, especially for a guy like him that millions of people are looking at.
Yeah,
So
I think it's pretty crazy.
I think there's no worry for Mr. Ronaldo, and yes, I believe he has over $1 billion in his purse all day.
Probably does. I mean, he got paid $250 million just this year.
Yeah, he's very wealthy. I mean, it's like a third of his wealth. He's probably worth like 3-point-something billion. So they could go for a third of his net worth. But at the end of the day, they're not going to get it from him. Binance is going to foot the bill. They're going to get a big lawyer for him. They're going to go in together. It's just going to be a big ordeal. Another distraction. Junk.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's another distraction for sure. I mean, I wouldn't want someone to come after me for $1 billion. That's got to be very.
I don't care if they come after me for $1 billion. My boss is paying for it, though.
Ronaldo's net worth is only $500 million.
Yeah, they're not going to.
So they're going after him for more than he's worth.
Okay, hold on. First of all, any net worth you're looking at on Google or anywhere, that's all inaccurate. It's not even true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that net worth we see is only for the public in case we want to sue them, you know what I mean, for something stupid. The real net worth, lawyers, government can look into it, and then they can come up with a calculation. So they kind of ratted on him that he's worth way more. He's probably worth 10 times worth of what they're showing. The guy made $250 million in 1 year. His shirt sell For how many years has his gear been selling? His internet things, all his sponsors and endorsements. Oh my
He's the
God, that guy.
largest person in the world as far as followers on social media. He has more followers on social media than anyone else on the planet.
And that
He has-
pays you over there too. So everybody's paying this kid.
I think he
He's
has over a
wealthy.
billion followers on social media. Can you imagine?
How many?
Over a billion followers on
Okay,
social
so
media.
that tells you how much he's worth right there, because they pay big for followers, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, just on his social media, he makes millions in advertising.
Yeah,
millions
he's a
upon
billionaire.
millions.
He's a multi-billionaire. Trust that.
All right, so let's get into this next topic because I think that was very well thought of and very well responded. So let's get into this next topic right here. So this topic here is Fed Chair Powell calls talk of cutting rates premature, and you know what, the Fed has been pumping rates. So Fed Chairman Powell calls talks of cutting rates premature and says more hikes could happen. Now, these hikes have been what has been killing people because people's interest rates keep going up. So we're tired of this. We've talked about this, and the markets have been on fire because Powell had hinted and other people have predicted that there would be cuts in rates, that they would actually be doing cuts in rates instead of adding more to the rates. But Powell is saying that might be premature and that more hikes could happen. Can we handle any more hikes, King Earl?
We can handle hikes all day long, just don't live off of credit. But the thing is he's already said it multiple times that he's not afraid to go ahead and put that last one in that he called for this year that he held off on. He's looking at the job growth, fighting the economy as well. So we're having a slow movement, but I mean, all of his data is 3 months behind, that he receives already because their information flow is extremely slow. But the thing is, with Christmas coming and everybody driving up credit, that's just going to make these credit companies nothing but freaking money the entire time. And he's well aware of it. So he's not going to, say, oh, well, maybe you can give him a lower credit. No, he's going to say, hey, keep it high or interest rate cut until after tax season, right? Taxes when they can say, oh, well, the government's going to get this amount of money. Harry Yellen is whispering in his ears the sweet nothings and lullabies at night, with their pillow talk that he's basing his economy off of. But, it's just crazy that they're just trying to let the banks down free when these banks have done nothing but right on the back of the entire global industry and do nothing but make money, like JP Morgan. I mean, I think the federal government should freaking banks and let.
All right, well, we're having some technical difficulties with Earl, so I'll go over to you, Nash. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, I was saying if they don't do the right investments. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was saying if they don't do the right investments, they should be, they should go for and offer the so that protect is just the banks. They ain't worried about the people. They ain't worried about nothing. They're just worried about the banks that are funding government expansion across the globe and different governments across the world for oil. That's it. That's all they're worried about on these interest rates.
Yeah, and gold's been up. Gold's been up, guys. Let's not forget. We're having an everything rally right now because not only is Bitcoin up and the stock market's up, and we're having a Christmas rally where the Dow Jones is up, the S&P 500's up, the Nasdaq's up, Bitcoin's up, and gold is up. Everything is up right now except for oil. So if you're at home right now and you're not up, it's like, where are you putting your money? We've been talking about Bitcoin, and we've been right about Bitcoin, and we've been talking about the markets, and the markets have actually melted up to we're almost like the market's almost at all-time highs again, stock market. So it's been crazy. So Nash Cowboy, What do you think about this? Do you think that the Fed is going to increase rates again? Can we handle more increases in rates? Do you feel like the Fed is going to increase rates? And do you feel like there's a chance that rates could go down next year?
Well, I said about this topic earlier on a few of our shows ago that I thought that they would drop more hikes on us. They were just giving us a little smoke and mirrors of what is to come. So yeah, I think it's very possible that they could go up on hikes again. I don't think they've got things the way they want just yet. It's just Christmas is coming in, and I think they're just giving us a little happy break, and that's it. That's where I'm at on it.
Okay.
My personal opinion is they're not needed, but they'll do it because they're making billions of dollars off of it.
Well, I don't think that we need it, and I don't think we should do it because people are struggling, right? The middle income is struggling, the lower income is struggling, the rich are fine because they're rich. They're not going to be concerned about a little bit of interest because they don't have credit cards in debt. And if they do have credit cards in debt, it's strategic because they're rich. So they don't really have any concerns about a little bit of interest because they're probably paying more interest to avoid paying tax. So the rich get richer and everyone else struggles. And that's where we're at right now, all over the world. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Blaze, what do you think about this? Is Powell going to have the nerve to raise rates again on people when people are struggling to pay their bills, people are struggling to put gas in the car, people are struggling to send their kids to school, people are struggling to put food on the table and pay their rent? Do we continue to see rates go up, or is he going to slash them next year?
Well, I mean, for this year, I think we're about done with that because he'll be the Scrooge of Christmas if he hits everybody and little boys and girls can't get presents. And
Yeah, you're going to
You
hit
know.
someone up at Christmas?
so
Like,
it's
come
kind
on,
of an
dude.
obvious thing, like a humane thing that he doesn't do it in December. But you bet your ass the new year comes around and before the halving and before the ETFs and all that good stuff, boy, he's going to want to hit us on our pocketbook before we put all the money in there. I tell you right now.
gosh.
I'm thinking between January 15th, February 1st, maybe might get another hike. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think for Christmas. No.
Oh, I hope not, man. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
well, that's how they do it. They like to put a dent in our pocket to slow us down because they don't like crypto. They like to control the world. That's what they do.
It's like cryptos are up, so let's tax you. Cryptos
Right.
are
They're
up,
going to let
so
us
let's
build
tax
it
you.
up. They're going to let us build it up. And then we're supposed to get a nice spike in January, which I really feel is going to happen. But I think people fight back a little bit, keep on going because it's going to start accumulating, making more money. So people are going to make their money. I think crypto might be everybody's pocketbook savior, you know?
Yeah, and people are going to be looking for ways to make money, and crypto is going to be ripping.
Right.
It's been ripping. So
You're
people
not
are going
going
to
to
put
see
their
any more
money in
side
crypto where they
trucks
can
and
make money.
food trucks on the street anymore. You're not going to see anybody peddling, Halloween gear or people doing the 4th of July gear or anything like that. People are going to just dump their money into crypto, man. I'm telling you, eventually all that stuff's gone. And so, thanks to that clown, keep on with his hiking, keep on jacking everybody.
I just like to see him do some cuts. I think
It's just the problem is it's legalized theft.
if he does some cuts next year, that will be rocket fuel for the markets. The markets
Yeah,
are
if he
melting
does
up.
one
Markets
cut.
are on fire.
If he does one cut,
cuts next year, the markets will rocket. They will rocket.
you know what he'll do, Rich? He'll cut it before the big hit. I mean, no, he'll raise it before the big hit, and then he'll cut it.
Because remember, next year's an election year, right?
Right.
And typically
He'll
in an
raise
election
it
year, the
one more
markets are always
time.
hot. The market's been
gonna
hot
raise
this
it.
year. Next year's an election year, so they got to make the markets pump. They're
Yeah,
pumping
and
right now.
He's gonna raise it one to get back some, and then he's gonna do a cut to get everybody back in it to get
Right
more
before
money
the
in there.
election, do a cut, and then the market
So it's gonna be a raise cut.
skyrockets. This time next year, we have another massive Christmas rally.
If he does a raise, it's going to be in the beginning of the year because he won't be able to do it near the first quarter or the first third of the year because of election. You're right. So yeah, expect
All right.
one more cut. I mean, one more raise in my book.
All right, so let's take a look at this. This is some big news that just happened this week. Charlie Munger, who was the raised Bitcoin, died this week at the age of, I think it was 100, either 100 or 99. 99. He died at the age of 99, and he's Warren Buffett's longtime billionaire business partner. So, what do you think this means for the financial industry to have a titan like this die? Do you think it makes any difference? He was he hated Bitcoin. This guy actually hated Bitcoin. He thought it was stupid. He thought it was ridiculous. He thought it was a scam. He never understood it. Earl, what do you think about Charlie Munger dying? Is it a big deal? Do you not care? Do you think it makes any difference? Obviously, Warren Buffett's going to be going soon too. He's getting old too. So, what do you think about this news?
Well, it comes to a great time, where you have to look at the fact that pioneers are going to be going away, and then somebody's got to take them into the next step of the future, right? So, we got to say goodbye to some of the old fellas, and, we have to look at the fact that future investments will be great stepping stones for the rest of the world, because Warren did it a great way and Munger did it a great way with the Hathaway company that they created and when they merged. And it's when you look at the financing industry, there's names that stick out, and when you can look at see what they've done, they stick by what they've done the entire time because that's what made them so wealthy. But there comes a time for a change, and I think they're just going to be greater because of it. But it's sad to see the guy go. But eventually, all of us can have great biker goatees like Blaze over here.
So he hated Bitcoin, and you can see I've marked up Bitcoin in the last 14 years. Bitcoin's gone up from a penny to $39,000, almost $40,000. So these guys have been successful, even though they've been very wrong about Bitcoin. And his partner, Warren Buffett, also thinks Bitcoin is ridiculous and also has no interest in Bitcoin. Now, he says that, but a lot of his investments actually say something different. He's actually invested in a lot of Bitcoin investments, but he publicly says he thinks Bitcoin's silly. He doesn't believe in it, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is they actually have invested in Bitcoin companies and investments in companies that are heavily involved and influenced with blockchain, cryptocurrency, and blockchain technology. So, Nash, what do you think about this? Charlie Munger, one of the biggest titans on Wall Street, 99 years old, hates Bitcoin, was one of the most successful investors of the last century. His partner, Warren Buffett, probably the most successful investor ever. And both of them are old school. Both of them don't like Bitcoin. But he finally dies at 99 years old. Do you think this has any effect on the financial landscape? Do you think it makes any difference? Do you think he's just old and he's just kind of like the market's past him and he really doesn't know what's going on? What do you think about this?
Well, here's the thing. You can be a great investor in one thing, but worthless as tits on a bull in another. So like everybody's got to everybody's got to die. Everybody's got to die sometime. As far as he probably wasn't even running his company at the end there. For the last 10 years, he probably his little offspring probably floating around there somewhere, taking control of everything.
Yeah, well, these guys have these huge businesses, right? So they've got executives and they've got all kinds of guys that are making decisions for them. And both Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are just kind of at the top, right? Mm-hmm. So Warren Buffett doesn't even have a computer, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you understand, like these guys are old school. They're used to like reading about companies. They don't use computers to buy and sell stocks. These guys don't use computers to buy and sell crypto. They do not understand crypto. There's no crypto, so they say, on their wallets. They don't have wallets. They don't have any of that stuff. They're old school. So, Blaze, what do you think about this? Do you think this matters? Do you think this is a big deal? Do you think it's like whatever?
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay. So we got the oldest guys in business. We got the oldest president in office. Guys, look, you gotta move on. Step aside for us. 50, 60-year-old people out there, the influence nobody's listening to him. I feel bad that he passed away, but 99, he made it to George Burns's, age. Just at 100, they couldn't get over that century. Maybe if he would have quit investing, he would have made it to 104. So my point is it's going to make a big, it's going to be a big influential, like, downfall. It's not going to, like, with this guy gone and Warren Buffett, his partner and stuff, with these two powerhouses against Bitcoin, I think it put a damper on the price. Like, they're big influential people. But the old school way,
moving him out of the way is probably good for Bitcoin.
right? So basically, what I'm saying, we got to move on from, Grandpa. I'm sorry, Grandpa, love you and everything, but you know what I mean. We're gonna be there one day too, and I hope to God nobody votes me in as president as 80 years old, because I won't do the job right. I promise you.
Well, he didn't get cheated. He lived to 99. If
No,
all
he
four of
didn't
us
get
could live to
cheated. I mean, it
99,
probably cost him $1 billion to stay here for another 9 years. So,
if somebody said to you right now,
it's a bad
if you had a
influence. You don't
chance
need
to
to be
live to
99
99,
still in business.
someone
That's
told you
greed.
right now at your age, you have a chance to live to 99, sign this right here. Would you do it?
If I had a chance to live to 99,
Yeah. Someone said, you sign this document right here, you're guaranteed to live to 99.
you know
Would
what? I'd
do it?
rather play it out the natural way, bro, because
Really?
yeah,
But 99 is a pretty good result. It's like, that's as good as it gets.
bro.
Almost.
I think at 99, you guys are gonna be fucking wheeling me down for your last 5 years. So I don't. You know what I mean? I'm just
What do
saying.
you think,
When it
Nash?
comes to
If someone tells
business,
you sign this here on that, and you live to 99, would you do it?
No, man.
uh,
Everybody trying to
No?
everybody trying to prolong their life. I'm trying to put in an express lane to the grave. I mean, I'm ready to go.
I mean, at the end of the day, bro, we gotta let the man upstairs make a decision, right? So he ain't gonna give us a paper to sign. But I tell you right now, people that stay in politics 80 plus, people that stay in business like that 80 plus. Now we got this guy 99. That is greed. That is not cool, man. He's stepping down. Like Nash said, his offspring's gonna be running around there. So you're gonna have a bunch of people that are getting a little. What do you guys call them? What kind of babies are they? They inherit stuff. What are they called? What's the name of that, Nash? The kids that inherit all the money and they go around.
The hedge fund owners.
Hedge
The
fund
trust
baby.
baby.
No, the hedge fund babies, or what's
Trust
the
babies,
estate
yeah.
babies? Okay, they're just gonna go out and drive Lambos and blow it all, anyways.
Yeah.
He's probably got a 70-year-old son. What am I talking about? That guy's probably.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
look at the
actually
guy. I
Warren
mean-
Buffett has come out and said, Warren Buffett has come out and said that he's going to donate his entire wealth to charities. He's not even giving it to his own kids.
That's just a public thing to say, and his kid's wealthy. He's lying to his false teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
He's
I need to
lying.
start-
That's
I
all a
need to start
lie,
a charity
bro.
that
I
and
hope
make 'em
he's
look
lying.
at.
I mean, like, could you
Bro,
imagine being
bro.
his kid and your dad's a billionaire? His dad's
Trust
like,
and
oh,
believe me,
I'm not giving you
the
anything. It's
way
going to
the
charity.
world
What?
goes, right? His kids were already have poisoned him or something to get their money. Trust me.
Well, he goes to McDonald's and eats cheeseburgers, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
And he's like 90.
I mean, there's silicone in
And he still goes to
cheeseburgers, so his
McDonald's
whole
and eats
inside's
cheeseburgers.
is
He
silicone.
doesn't
It's gonna
care.
last another 20 years.
Earl, would you, if someone said, hey, sign on this dotted line and you could live to 99, would you do it?
Well, maybe just so I can make it 2 more Bitcoin halvings, I might do it. But, past that, no, I just let life take its own course. I'll go find me a cliff somewhere and go dive off of it and curl up and see where I go.
Well, I'll tell you right now, 99 is pretty damn good, but I've heard that technology is advancing so much that by the time we're like, maybe in another 10 or 20 years, people will be able to live to like 100, 150. So I don't know if 99 is going to be a good, a good.
Right, we might
end
cheat
result.
ourselves.
Well, I don't know.
With
I
we
mean,
might cheat ourselves. That's what I'm
technology-
saying.
Technology is one thing, but I mean, it's survival of the fittest out here. And I'm just here to say some of these damn millennials, they just ain't going to make it past 40.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
as long as
Even technology can't save them.
as long as Bitcoin is around, I know we're gonna prosper. So that's all that matters. As long as Bitcoin's around, we will prosper. I promise you guys that. All right, let's get into the next thing here. So let's talk about this war. We haven't talked about it a lot. Kind of gone quiet on the news. Like it's not really big news anymore. It's weird. So this topic right here is further truce talks reach a dead end. UNICEF condemns ongoing war, and they did ongoing war on children. So they did actually do a release of hostages on both sides. Israel released Palestinians, and the Hamas released Israelis and Thai, and I think it was some American hostages. There's been some hostages that have been released by both sides. But it looks as though any peace talks or anything other than that now that they've kind of stopped is over. So where do we go from here? Like, what happens now in this war? Earl, what do you think? Is this war like kind of getting old news? Is this just getting started? Is this war dying out? What do you think's happening right now? Because it's definitely not in the news as much. It seems like every day it's less and less on the news.
Well, I mean, let's go into it a little bit, I guess. Israel came out today and said they've already conducted and targeted over 400 targets while the peace treaty was actually going on, or the ceasefire that all these crying baby liberals were crying about. But past that, war's not beautiful. And if you want two countries that are going to continue to war until the end and termination of one, that's a good region to pick, But you have Gaza or Palestinians that just randomly opened fire in Jerusalem the other day in the middle of the freaking ceasefire. But it's just so stupid because peace never works with the Middle East and countries there, with Israel or with Christians or with Roman Catholics or with anybody else as far as on a religious side. And that's the truth about it. And, we can do a ceasefire all day long. And, it makes people like me not want to watch my tongue and just speak my mind. But, at the end of the day, police your own people or other countries will. And if you don't, then you might be blown off the freaking map too. And quit talking about stuff that people don't know nothing about. Like, it's good to take sides, and have a political opinion about something. But at the end of the day, you're looking at war of one country and war of another country. But when you're inciting violence and rioting and looting and different things going on with these protests going on in multiple countries, that's why it's not in the media, right, as much. So maybe the protests will break down. It's a huge election year, and it's an election year that actually started this freaking war. And we already know that all these big global people just want to invest their money into Israel, and then Iran's like, hey, we'll be your bank too, and we'll get rich off this since the U.S. is sanctioning us. So we'll just fund you with all the weapons. You just fund us with the money that the American and the rest of the global people are going to give you because of we know we're going to start up these huge protests, and then we're going to have pity parties for the global people to just start sending you money and for aid and stuff. You just send us the aid and the money, and we'll continue to fund you with weapons. It's just so freaking ridiculous and so redundant, and something has to be done. And war is not beautiful. I've been in it my damn self. And, at the end of the day, you talk smack and you're going to get lit. That at the end of the day, that's what it is. So they can either solve it or they can shut the fuck up about it. But at the end of the day, something has to go on. And, at this point in time, I am more than prevalent of them just wiping them off the planet.
Wow. Okay. Nash, what do you think about this?
I'm with Earl on a lot of that. For one thing, I'm just getting tired of everything that's going on. I don't necessarily agree with us getting in the middle of anything. I'm not for, either side there, and there's a lot going on. We knew this was going to happen again. There's no deal that can be made in war. I'm surprised there were any hostages released.
They're saying that they believe that they might not even have any more hostages alive.
I don't think they do. That's my
They've
personal
given, they've
opinion.
given back about 100 hostages, and for every hostage the Israelis have given up, they've given up 1 for 3.
Yeah, one
So
for
for
3.
every Hamas hostage they've released, Israel has had to release 3 Palestinians.
Yeah, totally.
And some of
unfair.
those hostages were not even Israeli.
Yeah,
There were 12 from Thailand, 1 from another country. There was some American.
yeah,
So a lot of those hostages aren't even Israeli, and they're still giving up 3 to 1.
yeah, and little kids
So-
too. Little kids as hostages. Like, what kind
Yeah,
of
kids
sick
as
person does
hostages,
it?
women. The only thing I've seen them give up is women and children.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them give up any men.
yeah.
It's
Which
always
could be
women
used
and
as
children
soldiers,
first. Get that right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
the whole thing's messed up, but things got to stop. I'm with Earl, now we're sending billions of dollars there. We've sent billions over to Ukraine. At some point, it's all got to stop. It's,
But what's going to make it stop?
I don't know, but it's like a drug addict, right? A drug addict is going to keep doing drugs, all right, until he wants to stop, till he makes a change. So it's got to be their decision,
It's a painful way to live, man. Always looking over your shoulder, wondering if you're going to, get bombed, struggling for food and water, worrying about people dying, loved ones dying. I mean, it's a tough way to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's happening in the Ukraine. It's happening right now in the Middle East. And the United States get to keep their hands clean, right? And so does Canada, because they just keep sending money,
yeah.
right? They're like, oh, okay, it's not our problem, but we'll just keep sending money. At least we're not being
Money
being
we
blown up.
don't have, money our grandchildren don't have.
I don't
Money
think
that's just being printed by the Fed.
I don't think
Money
the
that's just being
Americans are
printed
keeping
by the
their
Fed
hands
that's putting the
clean.
United States in deeper into debt. Money that's being printed by the Fed in Canada so that the United States and Canada continue to stay in debt so that we continue to keep North Americans down. But when you compare the way that we live in North America to the way people are living in other countries, we're still living better.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
living better than people in Europe. Europe has no jobs. People are really struggling in Europe.
Because we're
Africa,
tight. We're
people-
tight in North America.
People in Africa don't even have food and drinking water in a lot of places. There's tons of poverty in Africa. There's tons of children starving and dying in Africa. There's tons of villagers fighting and being murdered and slaughtered in Africa. And there's tons of children fighting in wars in Africa. And nobody seems to care, right? Ever about what's going on in Africa. So there's all kinds of problems in this world. We know that. And when you really think about it, because I've traveled and I'm going to be going to Asia. I haven't seen Asia yet, but I can't wait to see Asia and see what that looks like. But
Yeah,
in North America, when I compare lifestyle to other places, I think North America still has it easy. I think we do. And until you actually see other people in other countries, you don't really know what to compare it to. But here in Canada and the United States, there's lots of jobs. Yeah, it's a hell of expensive to live, but at least we have the opportunity to build businesses, make money, invest in Bitcoin, invest in real estate, which has gone up like crazy, gold, which is going up right now, stocks, which are going up. In other countries, they can't even get credit cards. Like in the Dominican Republic, most people don't even have credit cards. They don't have credit. They don't even have bank accounts. In a lot of countries that are under the poverty line, they don't even have bank accounts. So, Blaze, what do you think about this?
Repeat the question. No, I'm only
So
kidding.
it's about the
I'm only
Israel.
kidding. I'm
It's
only
about
kidding.
the Israel. It's about the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli attacks on Gaza continue as further truce talks reach a dead end. UNICEF condemns ongoing war on children. So essentially, what's happening is there was a truce. There was a whole bunch of hostages returned on both sides, and now they're back to fighting.
thank you, Lally.
So my opinion, like, I just want to know your opinion. Like, do you think there's an end to this war in sight? Do you think things are getting better? Is this war old news now? What do you think is happening now with this war? Because it's getting less and less coverage in Canada and the United States.
All right.
It seems like every
You
day.
got to excuse my camera. It keeps freezing, so it's disturbing me. All right. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. The problem is with this is America is getting their hands dirty. A, we're giving them money. We're out there in the ocean. B, we're on land. We're not going to tell anybody. Why do you think they're kicking in hostages, bro? 3-1. Because that's the kind of deal America would do. Yeah, if Israel had their way, no, it'd be 1-for-1. So at the end of the day, I think it's not going to end. It never did end, and it still won't end. Sorry, I'm not positive for everybody out in the Middle East, but it's just beginning. They're going to get people home safe, and then the big guys are going to duke it out. Watch. I mean,
Hey,
they released a girl and her dog the other day. Her dog was with her.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
isn't
good. It's good that they're letting people go. And we have Lolly actually in the chat on YouTube. How you doing, Lolly? Thank you for being here. I just made you an admin. I appreciate your support, Lolly. And I agree with you, and I agree that this is coming to a point where, you know, we need a resolution. And I don't think it's good that Canada and the United States continues to get involved, continues to put money into these wars, continues to fund these wars. That's why I'm hoping that Trump comes in and he cleans this up, cleans the swamp, as he said, and gets these wars to stop. And he said he could get the wars to stop. And I'd love it for him to win the next election next year so he could put an end to this bloodshed.
Rich.
So that's my opinion.
The thing that makes me mad over here in the United States is that you hike everything up on us, right?
Yeah.
And then you go give it to other countries to fight each other. This is not what we're about here, man. Our people, we're fighting our own war of homelessness over here and starvation.
We have the same problem in Canada.
What about our military that fought for us years ago to keep us free? Oh, I see guys out in the street, veterans everywhere. You know, it's disgusting.
No, I agree.
So
it's terrible. We need to take care of our own.
Oh, we need money.
Take care of our own better, that's for sure.
Oh, they needed money so bad. Let's sign $100 billion bill. I'm so proud that I'm going to sign $100 billion bill. Quote unquote, Mr. Biden. Yeah, we all clap for that. No, that was the air claps. That was fake clapping in the background. The news did that for them because I don't think anybody was really clapping. So yeah, I'm over it all, to be honest with you, mentally, because there's other things we got to worry about in life right now, like our kids. But yeah, it's not going to end.
All right. Now, the next topic I want to talk about, and we can't, and I just talked about Trump. So Trump attorney says that the trial during a campaign would be an election interference if he is GOP nominee. So King Earl, what's going on here, man? Is Donald Trump going to be the first American president that's in jail during a trial? Can that even happen? And why are they trying to make this trial happen at the same time as the election? Like, what's going on in America? This is nuts.
Well, I think that's just mainly Trump giving a kick out saying, you know, hey, I'm still running and I'm still going to run. You're not going to stop me from doing it. I'm here for the long haul and we're going to be in this, right? So that's just him speaking out. We've already said it on here for the past few weeks that, you know, it might be considered election interference, especially with what's going on. But we already know it's retaliatory efforts for what actually happened with Hillary Clinton. But it didn't affect her campaign. It's not going to affect his campaign. And, you know, at the end of the day, we'll see where it goes. But, you know, when Joe Biden just got a community note put on his Twitter today, or on his X, for saying that the U.S. has had zero inflation for the past year. So, you know, when you're looking at things like, oh, Cracker Jack up there in the White House right now versus what we had in there, you know, I'd much rather have what was in there than the old man who keeps shitting himself during Thanksgiving dinner. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. But going to do anything with election interference or charges past that, I just don't feel like it's going to affect his campaign any. But once he gets in office, he can just pardon himself anyway. So, move on.
All right. Nash Cowboy, what do you think? Is this election interference? Are they trying to stop Trump from becoming the president because he's leading in all the polls?
Oh, absolutely. They've been trying to stop Trump from being president since he won the first time. It's crazy what they're doing. They're trying to time everything perfect to where, it'll take away from, the election and everything. It's absolutely election interference. And what's going to be great is if he's found not guilty and then he starts suing the hell out of people. But
I love to see that.
yeah,
I love to see
I
that.
honestly think that all of them should be tried for election interference to begin with. They claim he was causing election interference, but in reality, it was them. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as they say, and it's definitely election interference. And this kind of stuff needs to stop under whatever it takes. Our country's got to get some backbone and maybe step up again. And I'm honestly looking for. I wouldn't suggest this, but I'm looking in the future that we will probably see a 1776 2.0.
1776 2.0. Okay. Blaze, what do you think about this? Is this election interference? Are they trying to stop Trump from being the next president of America?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, by the time the election comes, like Earl said, he gets elected, landslide, he'll pardon himself, or somebody else is going to pardon him because there's several other people said they got his back. I think once Trump gets through this and he becomes president, every one of them are in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
They're in
He's gonna
trouble.
want
That's
revenge.
why they're pushing. They can't have him become president because they're all in trouble when he does become president.
Oh, yeah. He's going to want revenge.
Oh, he's gonna.
There's no
Yeah,
doubt in my mind.
there's gonna be a lot of misfunding, a lot of jobs lost. He did a TV show. You're fired. That's coming up. Yeah, season 48. Just at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in trouble. So yeah, it's interference all day.
All right. And this is my last topic. So we talked about the war, but these protests have been ongoing, and they've been ongoing and they're growing in England. In 13 London boroughs this weekend, protests happening against the war. It's my last question, guys. So I want you to finish this off and just answer this to the best of your abilities before we say goodbye. So King Earl, what do you think about this? These protests, are these protests ever going to end? Are they going to help these wars end? Do they make any difference? What do you think about all these protests that are happening all over England?
I'll be
all
short
over
and
the world,
sweet.
really?
None of these people know anything about what's going on. It's not happening to them, so they have no right to speak out about it or do massive protests. I mean, what are you protesting? You're protesting a religious war. I mean, if you're all that much about religious war, you can either get on your knees and suck in position and pray, for peace, or you can get out there and do something about it, and pray for victory. But, at the end of the day, nothing came from peace. You have to build a country by war. It is the way of the world ever since the dawn of humanity. And anything that you want, you have to take. And you have to quit patting foot about it, And these protesters, most of them, just like at the Trump rallies for putting Trump in jail, most of them don't even know what Trump did, and none of them know what they're speaking on. They're just paid to be there, or they're just mouthpieces for somebody else and protest because it doesn't.
All right, Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? These protests that are happening, they're happening all over the world. They're happening in 13 boroughs in England today and this weekend. What do you think about this? And will these be ending soon?
I think people will start getting tired of it, and the protest will stop one way or another. I'll just put it like that, because I know there's been some talk around these parts, and I think it all needs to stop. And I hope it does. I hope it doesn't
before
come
it gets
to
ugly, right? People are getting tired of it. People are getting restless.
Mhm.
People are getting scared. So people are gonna, start taking things into their own hands, and then that's when it can get really messy, right?
Absolutely. But who knows? That's probably government push too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what their agenda is, right?
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least, Blaze, what do you think about these protests that are happening all over London, all over the world? These protests about this war and the ceasefire. Are these protests only going to get bigger because they seem to be getting bigger? Are they going to be stopping soon? Are they helping this war? What do you think about the protests?
It's all negative. Negative, 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 negative. $100 billion bill, get a bunch of plane tickets, go back home, protect your people like we would. Look it, you're over here complaining to us. You want us to go over there and blow shit up? No. So if we did, America would be once again the bad guy, right? But you're going in front of the UK, you're going in front of the United States, you're all over Canada. You actually got a ticket here to have a free life, right? Live free or die, and you're yelling at the people that let you in the country to go do something that, what are we supposed to do? So everything's a negative with them. I think kindly exit the country and go back home and help everybody out if you're really that tough, because you're standing tall. And I don't like the violence going on. I don't even want my kid outside,
Yeah,
my
I don't
kid's
either.
tough, and I don't want him out there because it's just,
Why would we want any of our kids
this is
outside when
crazy.
things
It's
are
like the worst,
escalating?
the dumbest thing I ever heard. You're protesting on the soil of somebody that has nothing to do with your religious war. We welcome all religions in the United States, right? So we don't have a religious war here, right?
That's right.
Okay. Canada does the same, right?
Correct.
Okay. So over there, they don't. That's not our problem. We didn't set the rules. They got to go over there and change their own rules. The power of the people. If you come in and there's a lot of video games, there's thousands of people rushing the soldiers, right? Or rushing the bad guys. Eventually, you're going to sift them all up. So
I love it.
What we did in the United States way back in the day, 1776, we had to fight and take over, right? We stood together, we united, and kicked. Sorry, Britain, but you guys have to go home. But at the end of the day, they need to do that as a unit. If they want their independence, they want their freedom, they need to pile up in the biggest crowd they can ever do and just bum rush them all. And you can't lose. You can't lose. You're just sitting home shaking and letting them shoot you and hang you. Come on. You got to step up. Let's go. Boom. Let's go.
I love that answer. I love all your guys' answers, and thank you guys for joining. But before we say goodbye, I do have a question from Lolly. Maybe you guys have an opinion. Her question is, what's your opinion about the North Korea putting their first satellite in the orbit? I don't know much about it, Lolly. That's the first I've even heard of it. So I'd have to research this more to give you a real answer. Does anybody have any opinion on this? Lolly's asking.
Okay, so what you're looking at is you're looking at the fact that North Korea had actually said that they were going to go ahead and launch a rocket, but they set off the incoming fire for Japan, right? So they were looking at an incoming missile because it actually went over Japan on the way into orbit. But they were actually talking about it for 2 weeks. It was already proposed. They already had a launch date. And the U.S. Went ahead and just put a nuclear sub off the coast in effect to say, hey, if you're going to continue to do these, we're here and we can do whatever the hell we want, but, they're just going to continue to push the buttons. They do it every time there's a Democrat in office. And they even do it when the Republicans are in office too, just not as much because they're actually afraid we will do something. But, the whole thing is that they're going to continue to have an effect. They have been selling their artillery off to Russia to finance its war as far as ammunition shortages. So they do have an abundance of extra income for the government right now through trade and oil. So as they sell off the oil to European countries and shit like that in China, but they have a huge coal trade with China, and that's what keeps them going. But as far as North Korea's capabilities, all they can do really is hack. Their missile capabilities really aren't there. They toot their own horn a little bit. They've been working on nuclear capabilities. We have enough monitoring stuff there to monitor them 24/7. Any spy satellites that they actually do have up are pretty much Cold War era technology. If it's even still in rotation, I mean, I've been seeing some shooting stars here, the past couple of nights, so it might be debris from it floating around.
That's what I believe.
But, the whole thing is that they're so stone.
I got a quick answer if you cut out.
Point, and eventually Korea will get what's coming to them. But, it's not going to be this year with this president, and I don't even think it'll be in the next 10 to 15 years. But, 20 to 30, we'll see what's going on.
I was going to say that.
Okay.
That's exactly
Please,
what
go
I was
ahead.
going to say. First of all, great question, Lolly. Rich, I'll answer it quick. Look, that's nothing like Earl said. Everything he said, I was thinking shooting star. You might see a new shooting star go over. It wasn't recorded. Just look up in the sky over Japan. You might see some ball of flame go in the ocean. The technology is horrible. It's a practice run. They're about 30 years to 40 years out of technology before they think a satellite's going to map out what we're doing, or even they're going to get away with it. But this is what you call a tease play. That's all it is, Lolly. It's a tease play to see how we react. That's all.
Nash Cowboy.
Nash, do you have any opinion on it?
Nash Cowboy ain't worried about anything Little Rocket Man's got.
All right, guys, we've been live for over an hour. Lolly, thank you for your question, and thank you for being here for the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 28. And next week we'll be one-on-one with Shady, and we will be doing our one-on-one with Blaze in a few weeks after that. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays. And gentlemen, thank you for joining me once again. We got Nash Cowboy, King Earl, and Blaze. I'm going to have links to their YouTube channels in the description of the video. So make sure you guys go and you follow them. And thank you for watching. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. Bringing the winners, CEO interviews, breaking news, trending topics, and we bring it to you first. Hopefully you enjoy our engaging shows. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, appreciate you having us. Happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish friends out there as well. Salute.
Happy holidays
Cardinals
to everyone.
50.7% right now.
And have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers, guys.
All right. Great show, guys. Thank you.